What's up, everyone? It's your boy NR2003, aka Nathan Stapleton, and welcome everyone to Darlington, South Carolina, and Darlington Speedway for race number 6 on the season 4 of the JBL Cup Series. We're here at Darlington, and for the Denny 7500, one of the longer races on the season, probably the second longest, while behind the Coca-Cola 600, and we got 40 drivers on tap for the second crown jewel of the season. And I'm not alone for this one. I am joined by Josh Tipton here up in the JBL booth.
Thank you for having me here. This is my favorite racetrack on the entire schedule, and so I am most definitely looking forward to this race. It is going to be a long and grueling one, 92 laps. We'll have to see who endures all the way to the checkered flag under the lights here in Darlington, South Carolina.
Yeah, for sure, 92 laps, like you said. Probably going to be 3 pit stops here tonight, about 28, 29, 30, 31, maybe 32 laps on fuel. Something around there, so it's going to be 2, 3 pit stops. Most likely 3 stops, and it's going to be a long one for these drivers at the famous Darlington Raceway. And last time at Richmond, we saw a crazy one. 5 cautions, a double flip. Someone hit the pit fails. It was madness, but Richmond happened, and Scott Upton, who starts second here today, he ended up winning that one, and he is the points coming into race 6 on the season. Jordan Stout having a outstanding rookie season, leads the points by 15 points over Dale Campbell in second, and Richard Hart in third. Fourth is Ben Watson, 17 points back. Fifth is Justin Seidel, 25 points back. Fifth is Seidel. Sixth is O'Vale, also 25 points back. 7th is Nathan Woman, 27 points back. Josh Williamson in 8th, 33 points back. White Walker in 9th, 38 points back. And Travis Crampton in 10th, 38 points back. And then the 2 wildcards are currently Colin Quapley and Scotton, 11th and 12th in points with those 2 victories. So as of now, top 12 in points are basically in, but we still got 10 races left here this season. And with the points being so close as they are, Josh, how stressed do you think these guys are coming into this one, knowing that it's Darlington? They have to worry about winning, but they also have to worry about how close the points are so far after 5 races.
Oh, it is going to be absolutely wild. Everybody needs to get every point they can get in order to battle for a championship, in order to get into the postseason to battle for a championship. It is going to be quite the hectic race here in Darlington, South Carolina. Let's get ready to get it going.
And let's go ahead and get these drivers rolling off here at Darlington Raceway for race number 6 on the season. Make sure everyone is rolling off, and looks like they are. It will be a Ford front row with Mitchell Collins, and last time out was winner Scott Upton, Ben Watson, and Justin Lydell in row number 2. Richard King and Jordan Edwards in row number 3. Angel O'Vale and the number 3 of Eric Margot in row 4. And in row number 5, we got Trey Smith and the number 99 of Juan Garcia. So 92 laps, 40 drivers on tap. We've not had a repeat winner yet this season. Who do you think will win the Denny 7500?
I'm going to go a little deeper in the field, and I am going to go with a car that is starting on the inside lane. I'm going to go with Wyatt Walker there in the 20 to break the trend of different winners. Walker is going to take home the crown jewel Denny Southern 500 here at Darlington for his second win on the season.
Wyatt Walker, he won at All Club Speedway all the way back at race 2 on the season. And who knows, maybe he can become the first 2-time winner of the season and maybe make himself a championship favorite. Pace car onto pit road, and that will lead the field in the hands of Mitchell Collins and Scott Upton. 92 laps of action. It's going to be a long night at the famous Darlington Raceway. Collins, Upton, the Denny Southern 500 is going 92 laps around its famous oval in South Carolina. Lap 1. Oh, we are wrecking already!
Oh, trouble, turn 4, that's the 77.
Memphis Fisher all the way going around off of turn number 4. Looks like it was just a single car spin, maybe 2 cars, but maybe with the 2. But not too big of an issue off of turn number 4 on that number 1. That's unfortunate for that to happen on lap 1. Kind of strange as well. The only way I can really see that happening is if someone hit the wall and then that set them up and around went to 77. Or if they somehow went 3 wide in 3 and 4. I don't know. But early caution on lap 1 here at Darlington.
Way earlier than we were expecting. We were anticipating a yellow flag to come out right out the gate here in the Denny Southern 500. So far, it looks like the 77, Memphis Fisher, the rookie, may have been the only victim, as it looks like we're going to have most of the field come down into the pits. The 78, Richard Kinghart, will stay out onto the racetrack, and that rookie will take the race lead. Will anybody else stay out with him? Doesn't look like it. Looks like everybody else is going to come down. This is curious. I don't know why they'd already be coming down into the pits on lap number 3, but hey, I'm not the one making the strategy calls, so we'll just have to see how it works out. This is a very abrasive racetrack. Tires can get eaten up in a heartbeat, so it may work out for these guys on the pit road after all. We'll just have to see how good of a launch they get on the restart, but let's see how everything files through first.
Yeah, very interesting. Everyone on pit road other than Richard King, looks like it's going to be, for the most part, everyone's going to take fuel only. I think I saw a couple drivers back there, like while walking, maybe another 1 or 2 that took tires. So most of these guys just taking fuel only, trying to extend that fuel window, maybe a couple more laps than the 78. Very interested on why the 78 didn't pit and why everyone else did, but that's gonna make it a strange restart. Kino was third, now he's gonna be the race leader as he's the only one that stayed out. But let's go ahead and see what happened to the first caution on lap number 1 in the Denny Southern 500. Well, I think Noah Clifton just carried too much speed into turns 3 and 4, and he misjudged it. Right here, you see the black and green number 45 of Clifton. He gets into the outside wall. The 18 and 43 get very, very close, but Clifton gets into it. He gets stuck in the wall. And unfortunately, Memphis Fisher tries to avoid him. Tries to go to the inside knowing that there's a space right there, but going 3 wide at Darlington just does not work. Fisher into the corner panel of the 45, and that spun him around. And unfortunately for Elijah Gordon, who was in the back anyway, try avoiding the 77, but right there, pretty solid hit for the number 2 into the rear end of the 77. Fisher and very unfortunate. Clifton, Fisher, and Gordon all involved in a lap 1 crash, but not too bad, just a 3-car incident here at Darlington.
So again, coming through turn 3 and 4, Clifton's going to slip up into the outside wall. Memphis Fisher trying to avoid hitting the 45, not able to, coming out of the corner, and then gets pinwheeled there by Elijah Gordon, spinning down across the start-finish line, but not a whole lot of damage on any of the cars. They'll all continue on, and as we line up for the restart, Richard Kinghart stayed out on the racetrack. He picked up a bonus point for leading a lap. Might have been a good call. He's third in points coming in, 17 back. I have to see if that helps him in any way here in the Denny Southern 500.
Yeah, for sure. Kinghart third in points. And Watson, who's, I believe, top 5 in points, he won the race back and also got bonus points, so that's going to help him. And we're tying points a lot, but it's because it's 10 races left in the regular season. And 10 races, that's not a lot. And for these guys, they are trying to get every point that they can. Kinghart, only one that stayed out. Everyone else pitted. Most of the field only took fuel only, but a couple of guys, especially one of them in Wyatt Walker, I think either took 2 or 4 tires. So, have to see how that all works out after a early caution. Let's go back racing with Kinghart as the leader here at Darlington. Welcome back to Darlington Raceway for race 6 on the season, and for the Denny Southern 500, we will go back going on lap 7 of 92. Still a long way to go after that lap 1, lap 2 caution. And Richard King will lead us back to the green after being the only car that stayed out. Everyone else pitted for fuel, and 3 or 4 drivers took right sides only. Quentin Moore, White Walker, and Brandon Beal. From the looks of it, all took 2 tires and fuel. I mean, this is a abrasive racetrack. Is not the most abrasive version of Darlington, but tires still fall off, and maybe those 2 tires might work out on the long run. But it will be Richard King, Mitchell Collins, Ben Watson, Jordan Edwards, Angel Vale, Scott Upton, Trey Smith, Justin Zidell, Josh Ramson, and Eric Arnold, the top 10 on the restart. Everyone is still running. Elijah Gordon still has the hood on, so it was not a big enough hit to remove the front clip. So, have to see if he has any engine damage from that hit though, and we have to see how the 77 does. But about to go back racing here at Darlington.
And the field comes around to turn number 4. The pace car makes the hard left turn into the pits. It will be Kinghart, Collins, Watson, Edwards, and then Angel Oliveira, the top 5 as the green flag comes out. We restart the Denny Southern 500. A good launch there by the 78 of Richard Kinghart. Collins did not get going, and Watson may be able to nab him heading off into turn number 1. Not quite yet. They'll stay single file, but Collins now drafting back up to the 78, rounding the second corner.
Collins might be able to get a slingshot pass into turns 3 and 4. Not going to do it quite yet. Maybe he might be able to do something off of turn 4 though. And then half a lane lower than the 78 machine. Not going to get there quite yet. And now this is going to be interesting because we got a single file restart very early on in this one. And who knows, we could have a long green flag one because of it. And that would be a nice thing to have based off of what we've seen this season. Collins all over the corner panel of the 78, but doing a good job staying out front.
And Collins has not been able to get to the inside of Kinghart just yet. He's doing everything right. Kinghart is, as he pulls ahead of that 22 a little more. Watson is close enough. He might make a move on Collins heading into 1. No, he's not going to, but he's going to take a little bit of a peek. Collins is going to take a look at Kinghart actually heading through the turn. But now down the back straightaway, Collins heads right up to the back side of the 78. Still not making a move.
Collins just buying his time at the moment because he's really trying to just get there. But 78 with a great 1, 2, 3, and 4, and he's on Tobera trying to take that 4th spot away from the 12th. But that's one of the few cases where sometimes that second lane can get a bigger momentum to keep a spot, and that's what Edwards did to keep that 4th spot. But Watson all over the back bumper of Collins is he going to try to make a move for Collins. Gonna want half a lane lower, and we got a caution. Again.
And it looks like it may have been the 18. 18, Brandon Nelson was slow, and the 44 also up into the wall, Ronald Kennington.
Looks like another simple spin, a simple caution. Brandon Nelson does not look like he has that much damage, and yeah, looks like
another car was also down on the pit road. I think that was the 77, Memphis Fisher, who was involved in that first caution.
Yeah, he might have came back down to repair some damage after going at full speed, and they're like, yeah, we need to still fix it. So I think that's what happened to the 77. And 2 early cautions, but 2 simple spins it looks like though as well. Very interesting start in this one. And now it looks like everyone's gonna pit here.
Everyone's gonna pit again. They may come down for 4 tires. Heck, some that came down for 2 the last time through. Maybe they'll just take 2 on the other side this time, but we'll have to see what happens. The field comes all the way down into the pits. The only one not coming down with this group, Memphis Fisher. Already saw him come down the pit road, and he's circling back around behind the pace car. And looks like Angel Oliveira, the first one up out of the stall. And it will be, Collins is going to barely beat Oliveira. And then it will be Upton, Zidell, and then the 3 of Eric Monaco to round out the top 5 coming out of the pit area.
And I saw a lot more 2 tires and a couple 4 tires that time by. So now we are really going to have a lot of different tire fall-off strategies here, because some people are still on the same set of tires, and some of these guys took 2 tires finally, and some of them just went ahead and took 4 tires in, so it's going to be very interesting what ends up happening on this restart. It will be Mitchell Collins leans back to the restart after a simple spin again, but this time off of turn number 2. And let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the second caution early in the Denny 7500. Here we go. This wrapping off turn number 2 this time. Another simple caution. Travis Grimton in the number 16 got loose on the top side, came down the track ever so slightly, and nowhere to go for the 18 of Brandon Nelson. Crampton saved it, and the 18 eventually saves it as well, just goes for a spin. And because of this big back stretch, he was able to keep out of the inside wall, and he should be okay. Have to see how much right side damage there is from hitting the 16 of Crampton, but kind of like the first crash on lap number 1, a simple spin really for 18 of Brandon Nelson.
So here we are taking another look at full speed. You'll see Crampton get loose, turn 2 exit, saves it, but then Brandon Nelson runs into the back of him, and Crampton clips the wall up on the outside. We'll have to check that 16 for maybe a little bit of damage on that right side, but Nelson, no harm, no foul. The rookie did a good job getting back control of his number 18 M&M's Camry, and he will join up behind the pacing line, and we are about to have another restart here in the Denny Southern 500. A couple of early spins here in the first fifth of the race, but we got a long way to go before we crown a winner here tonight at the Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of simple spins, though. Luckily, I think everyone should still be out there on the racetrack still, so that's going to be good. But it will be Mitchell Collins as the race leader with some strategy off pit road. And let's get back to the restart here at Darlington for the Denny Southern 500. Well, this is a chaotic start to the Denny Southern 500. And we've not even scratched the surface of this event. Under caution, the number 99 of Juan Garcia has a brake problem, and he's on pit road. And now the 31 of Roger James has a tire go down under caution.
What in the world?
So to recap, we had a spin off of turn 4, spin off of turn 2, and now the 31 has a tire go down, and the 99 has a brake problem under the same caution. A weird start to this Southern 500.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, you know, this track is abrasive and it's really tough on parts. It is a test of endurance, almost to the, well, maybe even more so than the Coca-Cola 600 at times. But goodness gracious, we're only on lap 14. We've got a long, long way to go here in the Denny Southern 500.
And for Roger James, that's unfortunate. He was going to restart in 6th place as well, and then he had a tire go down. He's probably going to go a lap down once we go back green here. It will be Mitchell Collins, Angel Bale, Scott Upton, Justin Zidell, Eric Monaco, Benny Watson, Joe Witkowski, Trey Smith, Colin Quabley, and Josh Williams in the top 10. And the 31 is going to make it back to pit road. Can we finally have a normal green flag one, which is at the way to see. Mitchell Collins believes back to the green on lap number 15 of 92 and the 7,500.
And Olvera timed the restart good, as did Upton. The top 3 will stretch away with each other, headed off into turn number 1 and 2. Zidell there in 4th, and in 5th there, the number 3 of Eric Monaco. Down the back straightaway, you see a little deeper in the field there. Chris Reynolds making a move in the 15 down to the inside of the 48. The 48 of Eli Bright slipping backwards on the outside. As for the lead, here comes Angel Olvera.
Olvera not going to quite get there. Collins got a good one off turn 4 to barely hang on.
Boy.
But Olvera was a good one in 1 and 2.
Again. Here we go.
Inside, Olvera versus Collins for the race lead.
6th place points man, Angel Olvera down to the inside looking for the lead from Mitchell Collins, who comes into this race 35th in the standings. Had a horrible race at Richmond. Won race ago, lost 8 positions in the points, but Angel Olvera, looking to climb his way up in the standings, lost 4 spots after last race, and he is looking to rebound to the lead with Upton in second, then Monaco in third.
Olvera was the point leader at one point early on in the season after 2 or 3 races, but after Phoenix, he had a tire go down and stopped in the middle of the racetrack, and that lost him just enough points to get out with a point lead. But Olvera trying to get some ground gained on the new point leader, Jordan Stout, and maybe wants to get his first win on the season. And Olvera's trying to pull away in this number 1 machine, but Upton trying to go 2 in a row here in the JBL Cup Series, trying to chase that number 1 machine down.
We'll have to see if he can. Down the front straightaway, there are 5 cars stretching away. Up front, Watson the tail end of it, and then Zidell the front for the pack that's 6th on back. Upton looking to the inside of Olvera, not able to make the move, but Zidell and the 8 of Joe Rutkowski are side by side now for the 6th position.
Joe Rutkowski making some good moves in the number 8 machine, and he's going to take that 6th spot away, and Colin Quapley going to try to pass Zidell, and now Zidell's going to start driving back. Watson trying to get to inside the 22, Upton trying to get inside the 1, Collins into outside wall, Holland then turn forward.
And he's going to lose a ton of spots as a result. Now on the inside of Joe Rutkowski. Rutkowski just about goes up and brushes the wall. Down the front straightaway, Collins has his car back under him. Into the 5th position he will go. But up front it is still Angel Olvera here at the Darlington Raceway. But Upton is working him over.
And that's something that we will see all night long. With this being a narrow racetrack for the groove that leads up against the wall. There's not a lot of room, and we will see a lot of Darlington stripes. Sometimes, in Mitchell Collins' case, a Darlington smack, and he smacked that wall very, very hard. He has to be lucky if he doesn't have any toe link damage or something. That 22, and Rutkowski to the inside. Quapley barely going to get to the inside of the 22 as well.
The total 500 winner Colin Cropley getting around Collins is for the race lead. There goes Upton. Through goes Upton into the lead. Eric Monaco into second. And Benny Watson is looking for third there in the number 9 Chevrolet. Out of turn 4, they will all get around the number 1 of Angel Olvera. But here comes Eric Monaco to the inside. Upton looking for the lead, and he gets it.
Upton did lead that lap, going to get a bonus point, but now Monaco takes the race leeway. So many lead changes in the past 2 laps. It was Olvera, then Upton, and now it's Monaco, and if he's not careful, Watson might take that spot away from him. What a battle the last couple of laps.
Indeed, and we're far from over here at the Darlington Raceway. On to lap number 24 of 92 we go. And into turn number 1. Monaco continues to lead. Olvera now working on Upton one more time. Looking to the inside, almost got there, pulled back in line. Williamson a little further back, working on the number 22 of Mitchell Collins. They're side by side, and it will be Williamson getting around the 22, as will Justin Zidell in the number 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of side-by-side battles throughout the field after the top 5, top 6, and I think Collins, with that right side damage, is hurting him a little bit here. Because, like I said before, this is a faster version of Darlington, so aerodynamics probably matter more here than some other versions, and Collins is dropping like a rock in that number 22 machine. Very unfortunate. They want either a caution or a pit stop to fix that machine, but how about Rutkowski up to 5th and almost took that 4th spot away from Upton, but couldn't get there, and battle for the race lead between Watson and Monaco.
And out of turn number 2, Monaco brushes the wall just a little bit. Watson will get around Monaco trying to rebound. He'll settle into the 2nd position, at least for now. Olvera there, Upton, Rutkowski, and Cropley. But now Rutkowski goes to the inside of Upton around turn number 4. We'll have to see if Rutz can get the run headed off into turn number 1. He'll pull back in line behind the 6.
And I think Rutkowski is really trying to set up Upton to pass him into turn number 1 and get a good enough one in 3 and 4 to do so. But Upton keeps on getting a really good one in 3 and 4 up top. But Rutkowski wants to get him with a good one on this inside lane. Can't quite get there though. Or can he? No, he will not.
Cropley ran a little wide in turn number 4. Williamson and Zidell get by, as does the 19 of Aaron Abel, the 51 as well of Trey Smith, former Trinity River Cup Series champion. The 14 looks like Fitzwater will also get around. And Cropley, the Daytona 500 winner, getting freight trained as Watson continues to lead here in the Denny Southern 500. But Monaco hanging there in the second position. Olvera working him over, headed through turn 1 and 2. They'll be side by side coming out. Oh, Monaco slams the wall again.
First time it was a blush, it was a tap. That time that was a little bit more than a blush. That was a smack into the outside wall. And that is second Darlington smack of the night. First it was Collins, and now it was Monaco. But I don't think he is going to be as bad as Monaco. I don't think he will be as bad as Collins, I should say. But Upton trying to take second away from Olvera. Great stuff here early on at Darlington Raceway. And we're only a third up the way through in this one.
Folks, do not touch that dial because it is far from done. There's plenty of racing left here at the Darlington Raceway. And we still have a couple more pit cycles left, I do believe, if we go green the rest of the way. It is Upton now going to the inside of Olvera there for that second position. Olvera hits the wall hard coming out of turn number 2. And Upton will get into that second position.
I think that was the hardest Darlington smack of the night. I think that was a bigger hit than what Collins had. And that is unfortunate because Olvera had a bad fast race car here tonight. Collins is still settling in back there, but definitely not as good as he once was. Now Olvera might have the same fate until pit stops happen and they can fix the damage but sacrifice track position. And Trey Smith into the wall now, and I think these guys that have not pitted for tires yet and just pitted for fuel, this is really over tires. It's about 32 laps on fuel, and this is when they normally pit around this time, but because of that caution, they got more fuel, and most of these guys didn't take tires, and these tires are really old at this point in time.
Yes, indeed, it is lap 33. Oh, man! Both Olvera and Monaco hit the wall coming out of turn number 2. And they will get freight trained as they're stuck up on the outside. Oh, man, Fitzy tries to make it 3 wide underneath Aaron Abel. Thought better of it. But they will still be side by side, headed down the front straightaway. It'll be Abel pulling ahead of the 14 as Jordan Edwards works on Fitzwater.
And Abel to the inside of Olvera. And Olvera gonna hit the wall again. Oh, and there goes Fitzy!
Oh my goodness!
Watch out! Oh my goodness!
Oh my!
Oh no!
Oh my goodness! That's Brandon Nelson! He hit Fitzy!
And now Fitzy's gonna be done!
Oh my goodness! What looked like it was gonna be a simple spin. Oh my goodness.
Now will these guys finally take 4 tires? Because we saw those last 5 laps, so many guys on 30+ lap old tires. We saw what was happening, because that's 34, 35 laps, that was longer than what they would pit for fuel. So some of those guys were on very old tires, and that's unfortunately what happened. A lot of them got into that outside wall.
Unfortunately so, and that may very well take Fitzwater and Brandon Nelson out of this Southern 500. A lot of damage and smoke came out of both of those cars. Goodness gracious. Well, we got a lot of race to go, but we've seen 3 cautions already, and this is the first one that will definitely take cars out of this race. The first couple were just harmless little spins. Not this one.
Yeah, very unfortunate. On the bright side, though, everyone's taking 4 tires finally on lap 36. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But everyone on 4 fresh tires, and it's gonna be Watson winning the race off the road with Bukowski and Seidel at the top of the lead.
Excellent stop there by the 9 crew. Gets the race leader back out in front of the field. And we'll have to see if these fresh tires can make a difference. Well, you know, those cars were slipping and sliding all over the place, which is what really ended up causing the caution. You mentioned it. The tires were old. They were slipping and sliding all over the place. Maybe now that they're fresh, it'll be a little more reasonable.
Yeah, hopefully so, because in testing, they never did that. They never pitted and just took through only 2 cautions in a row and then went 34, 35 laps on tires. And we saw what happens when they do that. It might have been a good strategy at the time, but for the long run, it really suffered some drivers like the number 1 of Overa, the number 22 of Mitchell Collins, and the number 3 of Eric Monaco. All 3 of those guys are going to be deep in the field now. And that's unfortunate because all 3 of them have a really good car. They have to go through the entire field to get back up to the front. But third caution of the night is still relatively calm. Racing cautions wise and crashes wise. But let's see what happens to bring out the third caution of the night with Fitzy, Brianna Nelson off turn number 2. Here we go. This happened off turn number 2. The rookie Aaron Abel put the one of it over on the top side, and the old tires just did not work into the outside while we went. And then kind of like what happened with Crampton and Nelson, nowhere to go for Fitzy but into the one machine, and that spun Fitzy around. And I thought he was gonna be okay. I thought it was gonna be what we kind of saw always along up to this point, with the 77 being with a little bit of damage. But I thought it was gonna be like the 18 of Brandon Nelson, where he just spun and he was gonna be A-okay after that. And a couple close calls right here with the number 34 of Quinton Moore, the 43 of John Andrews, and the 27 of Trance Green. And then Fitzy, I don't know what he was trying to really do. I don't know if his spotter didn't see the 18 because of the smoke. But up the track, Fitzy went, and nowhere to go for Brandon Nelson in the number 18.
Oh.
Big hit right there for Fitzy. And Fitzy's rough season continues. Right when he had a good car, it looked like, I think he was one of the first guys that took 4 tires the last caution. So he was starting to move his way up to the field, and then that happens to him. And Fitzy's bad season continues, and very unfortunate for that number 14 machine for Steelhouse Racing.
So watch it one more time. Olvera gets into the wall. Fitzy gets into him, spins around down to the inside. And again, it looked like it was going to be a harmless little thing. But then Fitzy, trying to get back going, pulls right up in front of the 18 of Brandon Nelson and center punches Fitzwater there. Nelson, nowhere to go. And lots of damage and smoke coming out of both cars. More than likely, they will both be out of this race.
Very unfortunate to happen for Brandon Nelson and Zachary Fitzwater and Angel Vela, because he was 7th, but that damage from getting in the wall multiple times, they had to fix it, along with Mitchell Collins and Eric Monaco. But it will be Benny Watson with a great pit stop, leading us back to the green flag. Everyone took 4 fresh tires, I'm pretty sure, finally, so maybe we can actually have a long green flag one going 3 cautions in 34 laps. Still up the season, but good racing though. Let's see what happens with Watson out front at Darlington. Welcome back to Darlington Raceway for the race number 6 on this season and for the Denny Southern 500. Been a while, won 3 cautions already, and we still have about 50-60 laps to go. Unfortunately, Fitzy and the 18 of Brandon Nelson are both out. Roger James is 1 lap down from having that tire issue. Right when we were about to go green under the second caution of the night, but we still got 37 cars on the lead lap and 38 cars on the racetrack. It'll be Watson, Butkowski, Zidell, Chevy 123, Williamson in 4th, Abel in 5th, Edwards in 6th, Nathan Woman confirmed in 7th, Colin Copley in 8th, Chris Reynolds in 9th, and Richard Kinghart in 10th on this restart. Wild Southern 500 already, 3 cautions, 2 mechanical issues. What a crazy start. but it will be Benny Watson leading us back to the green. Will we finally have a longer point flag on? We just have to wait and see. The racing's been fantastic. Just a lot of simple spins for the most part. Pace car onto pit road, and that will leave the field in the hands of Ben Watson in the number 9. Hendrick Motorsports top 5 in points entering this race, and so far looks like he has a fast Who's machine for Hendrick Motorsports. Pace car, Ben Watson will lead us back to the green. Back green on lap 39 and 92 in the Denny 7500.
And a good launch by the front two there. Watson and Rutkowski pulling away from the rest of the field. Seidel there third, Williamson fourth, Aaron Abel there in the 5th position. Rutkowski now going to go to work on Benny Watson, headed down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Watson is far enough ahead. Well, you won't have to worry about Rutkowski making a move just yet. Rutkowski is taking a look, though, out of turn number 4. And not quite able to get to the inside, but a little further back. The 78 of Richard Kinghart tried to make a move. Now the 50 of BB Ruiz tried to make a move to the inside of Kinghart.
One of the uncharted drivers that made it through qualifying, he moved his way up to the front, and Wachowski, I think was one of those guys that took 2 tires or 4 tires, and that was making his way up to the front. And he has a fast 8 machine, because he was doing some really cool moves from 3 and 4 to set up them for 1 and 2. Now Wachowski trying to do that same thing to Benny Watson in his number 9 machine. But it's going to be tough because Watson, I think, has the best car here at the moment. But Wachowski still has a good second fastest car at the moment.
And Watson has, I believe, led the most laps so far here in this Denny Southern 500. He is looking very strong, looking very much like the favorite, at least at this particular point of the race. We're just shy of halfway, though, and Rutkowski's taking a look, but not quite able to get to the inside of Watson, though he tried. Is he going to have another shot headed off into turn number 3?
Doesn't look like it. Watson with a great 3 and 4. And he's going to gain on his lead a little bit. And Watson, it's going to be tough for anyone to pass this number 9 machine. But Wachowski's still trying his best to do so. And so far, on this restart, maybe these guys are a little bit more calm now that they finally got some full flush tires underneath the race cars. Because a lot of single file at the moment. But they are trying all they can to make some moves out here.
The top 3 now starting to stretch away a little bit. Seidel joins up with Rutkowski and Watson. Williamson still there in the 4th position. But now Rutkowski taking a look down to the inside of Watson. He's going to be there headed off turn number 2. Yes, he will. No wall banging this time. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, Rut is going to pull ahead of the number 9 of Watson.
What a move from Benny Watson. And because of 4 flush tires, Watson was able to make the outside lane stick a little bit off turn 2. But now Watson is going to get freight trained here in 1 and 2. And so is the rookie
Aaron
Abel.
In the 19 there right behind him.
Abel going to give himself a little bit of a Darlington stripe. But now Wachowski out front here in the Southern 500. And we are getting very close to halfway in this one.
Seidel and Williamson closing in behind the number 8 of Joe Rutkowski. Jordan Edwards there in the 4th position, and the 24, Nathan Ormond, was somebody we haven't talked about all night. He's found his way into the top 5 there in that Valvoline Chevrolet.
Ormond slowly making his way up to the front. Haven't seen him all night. A good stop from his pit crew, and he got a good restart to gain him a couple of spots and able to get into that side wall. That rookie is having a tough time the last couple of laps here at Darlington, and this is not an easy place for rookies, especially for Aaron Abel. Battle for the race, lead almost between Seidel and Wachowski.
Boy, Seidel took a look down to the inside, heading out of turn number 2, wasn't quite able to make it stick. Rutkowski holds on as the guy he was battling with just a handful of laps ago, Watson, continues to slip backwards on the outside. It's up front. It is Rutkowski, Seidel, Williamson, Edwards, then Ormond, Cropley, in that line, and then the 15 of Reynolds, then the 50 of Ruiz, and then I believe it's the 79 of AJ Crash, and then the 78 of Richard Kinghart, rounding out the top 10 here in the Denny Southern 500 at Darlington.
These guys are getting very close. They are wanting to make some moves because so far it's been kind of hard to pass. It's been easy to pass, but to a certain extent, you really have to have a good car. Now with Lukowski being out front, he might have a good a really fast car just like Watson, and now Lukowski controlling the field, but Watson's teammates Idell looking to inside in 3 and 1 and 2.
Oh, he's there.
Side by side in 3 and 4.
And he's going to have a shot headed off into the corner. He pushes his run up a little bit. And Williamson down to the inside of Rakowski as Zidell takes the race lead here in the Southern 500. Side by side, though, for second. The battle rages on. Williamson will get through, as will Edwards. Ormond, Cropley there on the inside, as is the 15 of Reynolds and the 50 of Ruiz. They're all trying to get by the number 8 of Joe Rutkowski, the now former leader of this race. And arriving on the scene, the 79 of AJ Crash, one of the part-timers coming into this race.
AJ Crash finally made it into a JBL Cup Series event. He was the only driver that has not made it into a points-paying race yet. He finally does, and he's up front here on that number 52 of 92 at the line. We will have 40 laps to go, and we have to wait and see if they get to lap 62. I think they can make it on one stop, but it's gonna be close because I think we went back green on that 38 or something like that, so it's gonna be kind of close for these guys.
Yes, indeed. We may have a couple more pit cycles before this race comes to an end. We'll have to see how things play out. Williamson now up to the second position there, just behind Justin Zidell, who leads the way into HendrickCars.com, number 5 Chevrolet. Teammate to Benny Watson, who was leading just a handful of laps ago. Watson quit falling back through the field. He is now in the single file line as Williamson taking a look to the inside, headed down the back straightaway. Here comes the Leidos Toyota.
2311 racing has been strong, especially with this number 23 ever since we left Daytona. And especially since Las Vegas, it's been very fast. A couple of top 5 finishes so far this season, and now Williamson might have race winning speed in the number 23 machine, and once again trying to take the race lead away in 1 and 2.
Oh, and he's down there coming out of turn number 2. Zidell scrapes the wall a little bit, and Williamson will take the lead. Edwards into second position there just behind him. The 24 of Ormond there in line on the inside, battling with Zidell now for the third position. Teammates side by side. It will be Zidell. Looks like getting ahead of his teammate for the moment, but now Ormond throws it into the corner, but loses the inside line, and here comes Cropley.
And he gets into that side wall. I was concerned.
And Miles got it as well, coming out of turn number 2 in the 11 car.
Yeah, Miles also got into the wall off turn 2. I thought Ormond was going to let Zidell in since he was his teammate, but he barely did not let him in 1 and 2, and now he's paying a white split, and he's stuck on the top side. And how about this 50 machine for BP was inside the top 5 now? You got Darlington and Jordan Edwards trying to chase down this number 23. Great stuff here at Darlington.
Yes, indeed. Just past halfway here in the Denny Southern 500. Coming around to start lap 58. We will be at 35 laps to go in the Southern 500 at Darlington. Williamson, Edwards, Cropley, Reynolds, and Ruiz, the top 5 right now.
Great stuff. This is one of the crown jewels for a reason, and the number 12 of Edwards really backed off a lot in 3 and 4 that time. I don't know if he just missed it, but he dropped off a lot of speed, and now here comes Cropley trying to take second away. And he does easily.
He's gonna get it easily on Jordan Edwards going through turn 1 and 2.
Nothing is wrong I was being reported from the tower on number 12 machine, so I think he just had to get on the brakes in 3 and 4 last time by, and now he's paying the price for it. Stuck up on the second lane here at the lane in black, and that's not going to help his cause. Was in second, and now he's going to continue to drop back in that number 12 machine. But Williamson's still out front, probably in second. Here comes Rez trying to take third away.
And is he going to get it? Oh, he throws it out of turn number 2. A great corner exit there for Ruiz. And Reynolds slips into the 4th position. But up ahead, Cropley is trying to chase down Williamson. Will he have a shot at him? At 32 laps to go at Darlington.
Cropley always has one crown jewel victory in his rookie season of the JBL Cup Series. He won the season 4 Daytona 500. And ever since then, he's been pretty consistent in this number 10 machine. Wachowski getting into the outside wall hard. And now, these guys are starting to smack the wall late in this fuel run here at Darlington. But Cropley going for a second crown jewel victory of the season, trying to chase down that number 23.
And he might have a chance to get him here this lap. Here he goes. He's taking a look, and he is there on the inside through turn 2. Side by side. Williamson's going to scrape the wall a little bit. Cropley's going to go to the point. Williamson will now play defense against BB Ruiz there in the number 50.
And I do think it will be a one-stopper.
Oh, big run!
A massive one for the 23. It's going to start out a little bit. When is it? No, it will not. But he can't get to the inside.
It. He's taking a look still through turn 2. Headed to the back straightaway. Cropley gets the loose off the apex. Rakowski hits the wall a little behind. The 21 down to the inside of him. And now through turn 3 and 4. Williamson down to the inside of Cropley. The Daytona 500 winner side by side. Out of turn number 4. Down to the start finish line. Who leads this lap? Williamson, I think, got it just by a little bit.
Cropley
Cropley got it.
According to timing and scoring, it had to be a matter of inches because it's not even showing up on the ticket. What a finish, or what a battle for that lap. But now Williamson's gonna have a massive lead here at Darlington. And we are with 27-28 laps to go. We are good on fuel from here, so it's gonna be one stopper to go here in the Denny 7500. And Williamson with a massive lead here in this one.
And it's not over just yet, even though he has almost 0.6 of a second lead. When we get to that pit cycle, oh my goodness! AJ crashed into the wall hard coming out of turn number 2. When we get to that pit cycle, here we go, right now, right on cue.
And we got caution. Some guys pitted on that. Oh, and it's
42 car. Stephen
Cologne, who recently won the A main and the 2022, which is Hollywood Stapleton shootout. He goes around down the back switch and down the back switch off turn 2, and that's gonna be very interesting because some guys were all the way on pit road, and then when a big chunk of drivers were on the way down to pit road, a caution happened. That's gonna be interesting.
So the 4th yellow flag of this Southern 500 has come out. And those that already came into the pits, will they be able to be ahead of those that had not been able to do so? And we'll have to see what the order is when the field comes back around behind the pace car.
And now these guys, they were all really going to be good on fuel from here on out, but now they are really going to be good on fuel. I don't know who already pitted, because there's a few cars that pitted a lap early than what everyone else did, and then now about half the field that stayed out who did not pit yet with before that caution happened. Now they are pitting, so gonna be an interesting. Orman might be the leader here, either that or he's a lap down. I'm not entirely sure. No, he's a lap down. He's gonna get his lap back. He might be on the tail end. Might be Williamson as the leader. I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to be AJ Crash winning the race off the pit road for the guys that did not pit yet. We have to see what ends up happening with timing and scoring and who ends up being the race leader. I honestly don't know. But I think it might have been another simple spin off of turn number 2 for the second time of the night. And I think it was only the 42 of Stephen Collin that spun around. I don't know who's going to be the leader, but we will find out shortly. Let's see what happens about the 4th caution the other day, and the Denny 7500 for race number 6 on the JBL Cup Series season. Well, here we go. This is another simple accident here at Darlington. The 17, I should say, went up the racetrack, and the 42 of Stephen Collin hit the 17 right when he hit the wall. So, very unfortunate for Logan Williams and Stephen Collin. And just kind of like for most of the night, once someone spins, they have plenty of room down on the apron to keep out of the wall and keep it straight. So that's a good thing. Another simple caution, really. Not had a lot of torn up race cars, and that's a good thing here. But tough play for Stephen Collins, who just recently won the Richmond Hollywood Stapleton Shout last time out on the channel, and he gets involved in a crash. It's the fourth time of the night.
So coming through turn 1 and 2 again, here comes the 42 of Cologne down to the inside of the 17, not able to get through cleanly, and around goes that 42. And very, very unfortunate there. Logan Williams up on the outside getting loose, and Cologne tried to get around to the inside, and something we've seen several times tonight already. It just did not work out as they had intended, but it's going to be, it was a topsy-turvy yellow flag, and we'll have to see who has the lead momentarily once timing and scoring has worked everything out. But if this is the last caution, which it has the chance of being, we should ideally be good to make it to the end. Even if it's just by a little bit, it is going to be a heck of a charge to the end of this thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a shootout. 20-25 laps, I think, on fuel to the end. I want to say it might be Orman as the race lead. I'm not entirely sure, though. Let's go ahead and see what timing and scoring says about this here at Darlington for the Denny 7500. Welcome back to Darlington Raceway for race number 6 on the season, and for the Denny 7500. We will go back green on lap number 70 of 92. Ormond, Elijah Gorman, Travis Crampton, Eli Bright, Ryan DeWine, Nathan Orman, Roger James, and Tyree Coleman, they were all either one lap down or on the tail end, so the officials went ahead and waved them around. So unfortunately for Ormond, he's going to have to restart all the way back in 32nd after being in the top 5 just before that caution happened. But it will be Josh Williamson still as the race leader, and then Chris Reynolds in 2nd, Quapley in 3rd, Upton in 4th, AJ Crash in 5th, with the Season 3 champion Allison Wayne pop up out of nowhere in P6, Watson back up to 7th, the point leader having a quiet night, also in 8th, Dale Campbell 2nd, points in 9th out of nowhere, and then where the heck did the 99 of Juan Garcia come from? He had a brake issue very early on, and now he's in 10th now. Wow.
Goodness gracious.
What a one for that 99 team to get back up to the front. Well, 23 to go, and the 23 car will lead us back to the green flag. Been a pretty good 7,500. 4 cautions, not much carnage, but fantastic racing. We have good on fuel, good on tires, 23 laps to go, and the 23 of Josh Williamson will lead us back to the green. Who will win the Season 4 Denny 7500? Let's find out back green at Darlington.
Good restart there for Williamson and the 15 of Chris Reynolds. Properly there, trying to stay with that 15. Upton there. Oh, Upton blows up immediately on the restart.
Oh no!
Are you kidding me?
23 laps to go. Maybe these engines are not able to take that much left, and Upton, he was trying to go 2 in a row. He had a car that could have done it too, I think, and now that has separated the
side
top
by side
3.
for the lead up ahead.
And here comes Chris Reynolds for the race lead.
Reynolds is going to take it. Cropley will get around Williamson as well. Williamson into the 3rd position, but a big gap back to 4th. He has nothing to worry about, at least as far as slipping back further than 3rd right now, so he can stay right up there with Cropley and the 15 of Christopher Reynolds. But here we go. 21 laps to go this time through. It is Reynolds leading the way. Cropley there, the second position. He looked like he was slipping backwards, was going to be out of it, but now he has a chance to take the race lead away.
Properly. Maybe he's trying to go crown jewel hunting because he won the Daytona 500. Now he is up here with 20 laps to go, trying to get his second crown jewel win and second win on the channel. But if he wants to do that, he has to beat Josh Williamson, Chris Reynolds, and whoever might be able to catch up with the top three. But that's unfortunate for Scott. And I think at this point in the race, this is one of the longer races on the season. Second longest, only shorter one is the Coca-Cola 600. These engines are starting to take the toll. We saw a brake failure earlier with the 99, a tire issue with the 31, and then assistant Scott Upton had an engine blow up on the restart, and just these parts are starting to fail late in this one. But Reynolds still out front, Williamson 28 second, and now AJ Crash has been spit out to the top side, and here comes the Season 3 champion Allison Lane trying to lead these guys back up to the top three.
Checking back in up front, it is still Reynolds leading, but here comes Watson down to the inside of the 7. Not quite able to. That's the 7 of Allison Rain. Not quite able to get down there is Watson, so he'll stay in the 5th position, at least for the time being. Down out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. The top 3 not exactly stretching away. It looks like 4th on back is closing in on them ever so slightly. 5 cars is stronger than 3 as they're almost 3 wide. Out of turn number 4, AJ Crash, I think, may have got a little bit of a Darlington stripe up on the outside lane. Terrence Green gets around there, as well as the 34 of Quentin Moore and the 8 of Joe Rutkowski and the 17 of Logan Williams.
And you can feel the intensity starting to pick up. And with these guys being spread out, because of that engine, they are trying to catch up. And I think Allison Lane on back will eventually catch up with the top 3 because they are absolutely flying. But there's no more pit stops, no more guaranteed cautions, none of that. And these guys are getting very antsy here at Darlington. Battle for 2nd and battle for 3rd, but both Watson and Ramsey cannot get side by side with the 10 or the 7.
Cropley's closing back in on that 15 a little bit, but looks like Rain and Watson are stretching away from the rest of the pack back there, but they are closing in on the leaders. This is about to get spicy once again here at Darlington. As here comes Watson down to the inside, Rain up into the outside wall hard.
That was not a Darlington swipe, that was a Darlington smack for the Season 3 champion. Cropley still trying to take the race leeway, and here comes Cropley side by side at Darlington, but Reynolds with a good one off turn number 4, he's going to keep it. Now Cropley might be on the fire from Williamson here.
And we'll have to see how it works out for them. That slowed up the entire top 3 as Watson almost goes up and slams the wall. He gets a little bit of a scrape, battling there with Allison Rain. Rain down to the inside. Watson trying to work that outside out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Watson will hold on.
What a one Watson got right there. And we talked about Watson, how he dominated this race during the middle part and early on, but then he fell back. He's back up to 4th place, and now Watson trying to lead that train back up to the front of the top 2 in points. Stout and Hamlin and Garcia, King Liz, and Mr. John Andrews come from the Las Vegas winner. Hello, he's up inside of the top 11. 11 cars, I think, are going to have a shot here in the 7,500 if we don't get another caution. Properly still going after this 15 with a great 1 and 1 and 2.
Oh, and he's right there against the backside of the 15. Watson is up against the backside of the 23. Heading down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Oh, Reynolds slept up a little bit. Cropley took a look. Not able to get down there just yet. But now, as we're at 11 laps to go,
we got a caution.
Out.
Might
have been Elijah Gordon or Eric Monaco.
Might have been one of the two, because, I mean, Elijah Gordon was off the pace and Monaco's on pit road. It might have been a tire for Eric Monaco on the number 3, and I think he might have just stopped on the racetrack and couldn't make it back. Well, we are not done yet. 5th caution of the night, but the turn continues, but they are not that bad. Not many tournament race cars, so this is a nice change of pace. Unlike Richmond, we have 5 cautions and a lot of tournament race cars. Here, 5 cautions and a lot of simple spins or mechanical issues here.
Goodness gracious. Well, Reynolds still leads the way. Is Cropley there second? Williamson in third. Watson, I thought, was getting ready to get around that 23 before the caution came out. But everything freezes one more time, and we will have another restart now. 5th caution of the race out in the Denny's Southern 500.
No
we are
one's
going
gonna
to get
pit.
back to... Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody is going to.
And it kind of makes sense, because if they were to pit now, with everyone on the lead lap pretty much, sure you have full-fledged tires, but you don't have that many laps. We have probably 5 to 8 laps to go, something like that, when we go back green. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't be worth it, probably.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of battling go on, but it is a very track to pass at. So you definitely would not want to lose whatever track position you're in right now.
Well, let's see what happened to bring out the 5th and final caution, I should say, for the Denny 7500. Hopefully, this is the final caution of the night here at Darlington. Well, going into turns 3 and 4, Eric Blanco, who's had a rough night, had a fast car early, but in P31st, he ends up blowing a tire right off turn 4, and he couldn't really get back to pit road since it happened off turn number 4. He tried getting as low on the racetrack as possible, away from everyone else. And honestly, this could have not been a caution, but I understand why the officials thought about it, because that's kind of a bad spot if someone got turned into in turn 1 and 2, and then just stopped right in the middle of turn 1 on the apron. Tough way for Eric Blanco. Had a fast car, but hit the wall, and maybe that broke a suspension part or something, and maybe that popped the tire on that number 3 machine from Eric Blanco. But no one pitted, everyone stayed out, and we can take a breath just for a second. With a crazy restart about to happen. Josh, I don't know what's gonna happen here.
A lot. It is going to be a wild, wild dash to the checkered flag here at Darlington. And the old saying from Larry McReynolds, reach up there, pull them belts tight one more time, folks, because you are in for a wild final handful of laps here in the Denny Southern 500 at Darlington.
And here we go. Let's go ahead and get to the final restart of the night. Hopefully, here at Darlington, who will win race number 6 on the season. Well, this is the story of season 4 of the JBL Cup Series. Every single race, we've had a late race shootout. And once again, we will have a 6-lap dash in the season 4 Denny Southern 500. I don't know why this keeps on happening, but it just happens to work out for it. These guys. Chris Reynolds out front, Colin Cropley in second, Williamson in third, Watson in fourth, Allison Wayne in fifth, the point leader, Jordan Stout in second in points, Dale Campbell in seventh, Juan Garcia, who had a great failure early on in the race, he's back up to eighth, seventh, the 78 of Kino is in ninth, and then BBUS is in 10th. Man, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen here. 6 laps to go. This has been the story of the JBL Cup Series season. Almost every single race we've had a late race shootout. And we have another one, 6 laps to go. I can confirm that what happened in Upton was a camshaft on that restart. So that's unfortunate for him. And well, it will be Chris Reynolds leading us back to the restart. 6 laps to go in the season 4 Denny's Southern 500. Who's going to win at the Lady and Black? Reynolds, Cropley, Watson, Williamson winning the top 5. Back green with 6 to go at Darlington.
And a good restart there for Reynolds and Cropley. Williamson did not really get going, neither did Watson. But they got plenty of time to get back up there. Cropley closing in on that 15. Quickly headed down the back straightaway.
And 3 and 4, Cropley trying to do everything that he can to be the first 2-time winner this season and win 2 Chronicles, the Daytona 500 and the Southern 500. 5 laps to go. Can he get there to the inside of the 15? No, he will not. Oh, maybe in 1 and 2 though.
And he may very well... No, he is not going to just yet. But down the back straightaway, looks like Rutkowski may have caught the wall a little bit. No matter. Up front,
no.
Car going down into the pits. That's the 99, I believe.
Juan Garcia, I don't know what happened to him. Maybe that brake failure might have sparked up again. Tough where he was inside the top 10 as well. Battle between the top 10 points. Now Hamilton's going to take it in. Oh boy, that was close between the 78 and the 21.
Up ahead, Cropley is still working on the 15 of Christopher Reynolds. And I don't want to watch here. Does anybody else have to come into the pits in these waning laps in the Southern 500? Or is it just going to be that 99? Because it was going to be close. Oh, Ruiz hits the wall a little bit coming out of the turn. But 3 laps to go in the Southern 500.
Oh, I think Wyatt Walker also had to pit because he came off pit road right then and there.
Oh, here we... Oh!
Oh, boy. Cropley's really trying to take the race away. 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go at the line. Last time we were here, we had a last lap pass for the win. Will we see another one? 2 laps to go in the Southern 500.
We'll have to see what happens as they head off into turn number 1. Reynolds slips off the apex of the corner. Here comes Cropley. Taking a look down to the inside. Out of turn 2, he's there. Oh, Reynolds hits the wall hard. Cropley into the point. Williamson right there as Watson is as well in the number 9.
Cropley trying to go crown jewel hunting in the JBL Cup Series. White flag on the Denny 7-500. He got a great 1 and 1 in a 3 and 4. Final time in 1 and 2. Cropley is looking really good for his number 10 machine.
Williamson and Watson trying to close in ever so slightly. Ooh. Coming out of turn number 2. Williamson may have a chance. Headed down the back straightaway into turn number 3. I don't think he's going to be close enough.
Williamson not going to get there. Going to continue his top 5 streak. Colin Cropley, the rookie for Stillhouse Racing, wins the Daytona 500. And now he's going to win the Denny's Southern 500, second win on the season. And I think Colin Cropley might be going crown jewel racing this season. And he gets the second win on the season and will win the second crown jewel race of season number 4.
He came into this race 11th in the point standings. He is most certainly going to move up the standings.
What a race. What a job done from Colin Cropley. He had to earn that win. He was stuck behind the 15 of Chris Reynolds for the majority of that last 20-25 laps. And they finally moved him out of the way. And those tires were starting to get old. Reynolds into the outside wall. And then in 3 and 4, coming to the white flag, he just got a fantastic 1 and had a big enough gap on Williamson to keep the lead. What a race. And Colin Cropley, the rookie for Stillhouse Racing, how about that? He's the first driver to get 2 wins on the season, and Cropley, he's doing a heck of a job in this first season of the JBL Cup Series. Cropley gets the job done. Williamson continues his top 5, top 7 streak with a second place finish. Williamson in 3rd. He's going to get up there in points after that good one. He was already top 5 in points. Might gain a spot or 2 in the process. Allison Rain in 4th. Chris Reynolds in 5th. Hamill gets 6th. He's going to gain a couple of spots on Stout as Stout gets 8th. Kino in 7th. Moore in 9th. Greenwood Olympic got inside the top 10 late. And how about Torrance Green in 10th out of nowhere? Trey Smith in 11th. Medeiros in 12th. Fisher. What? Memphis Fisher bounced back from the very first caution on lap number 1 to get 13th. Amazing job from that number 77. Seidel in 14th. Beal in 15th. Mayon Abel in 16th. Collins in 17th. Williams in 18th. Colin in 19th. Not too bad for getting spun around. And the Ormond from 32nd for getting waved around. He gets 20th. Not too bad of a rebound for him. And then Dwani, Hartman, Rakowski to play for him. He had a really top 5 caller all night. He gets 23rd. Bright in 24th. Roger James, he had a tire go down. He finishes 25th. Crampton 26th got involved in a crash. Kennington 27th. Elijah Gruen got involved in a crash. And I think all these guys couldn't make it. So I think for some it was very, very close on fuel. because Clifton, West, Garcia, Andrews, Miles, O'Fara, definitely for Team Trackhouse right there late. Wyatt Walker, AJ Crash, they could, I guess, can make it on field by a couple laps because they pitted late. And then Monaco 2 laps down, and then Upton, Fitzwater, and Nelson all DNF from this one. 5 cautions, but only 3 drivers DNF. Very calm race with the crashes, but a very fantastic race with all the on-track racing that we saw. Josh, what's your final thoughts here in the Denny 7500?
A wild and crazy race, competitive as well. Field shuffling all throughout the field. And of course, you know, we hate to see cars get into trouble, but that happened too. But it did make for some thrilling restarts here at this. Goodness gracious. I don't know what else to say that wasn't already said all throughout the race. What a rush. We're looking forward to the next one, that is for sure.
Yeah, Darlington, a fantastic racetrack, and with these sections, they performed absolutely amazing here tonight. And you said what the next one is, like, we are looking forward to the next one. Well, oh yeah, the next race is, I don't know, Talladega Super Speedway. That's gonna be that's gonna be wild. The second Super Speedway on the season. Can Quapley get still been on the season? Go 2 in a row on Super Speedways and 2 in a row in the JBL Cup Series. We just have to wait and see a wild one. Thank you guys so much for watching. 92 laps here at Darlington. It was a long one. 5 cautions. All of them were pretty minor. Thank goodness after what we saw at Richmond. And that wreckfest of a race. Talladega. Who knows what's gonna happen there? Who knows who's gonna win? But thanks to Josh Tipton for being up here in the booth with me. A fantastic Denny 7500. Thank you guys so much for watching. The points and the Rookie of the Year points are coming up next. And congratulations to Colin Quapley for getting his 2nd win on the season, and for the first driver to get his 2nd win on the season 4 campaign of the JBL Cup Series. With Josh Tipton, I'm NR2003, Nathan Stapleton. I will see you guys next time out in Talladega, Alabama for the Petco Foods 500. Bye!